Hi guys, we're here in Tampa, Florida, where the rights of the preborn will be up for vote in November. Do people know what's at stake? Let's go. Do you know the current abortion laws in Florida?
It has to be done before 6 weeks or something like that.
I think it was made illegal, right?
Well, they're far more restrictive after the Supreme Court changed its precedent.
6 weeks.
Is the limit, right?
Yes.
Have you heard of Amendment 4?
No.
I'm going to read it to you. It's just a sentence. The word of the proposed amendment, it would say, no law shall prohibit, penalize, delay, or restrict abortion before viability or when necessary to protect the patient's health as determined by the patient's healthcare provider.
Very convoluted. I'd have to look at it written down or something.
Do you understand that? What does that mean to you?
As long as it doesn't cause health issues, it's at a appropriate time to not cause health issues to the woman.
That somebody else is going to decide if I can get it or not.
So there should be no restrictions ahead of a concept that's defined as viability, which might be medically defined, I don't know.
To just leave it subjective like that, I don't agree with that.
A lot of big words.
I know. Do you understand that? Or?
Nope, don't understand.
It's so confusing. So basically what this does is it says that there are no restrictions on abortion up until 9 months. What are your thoughts?
I don't necessarily agree with 9 months for the simple fact it is still at that point of a living being, it's past the embryo.
I think it's a bit extreme. I do. They should have some type of option that if it goes for a term, that there's an option for the baby to go somewhere else if that person is not able to take care of the child versus just terminating the pregnancy altogether.
I think it's radical. I think, there should have already been a determination of where the risks are for the baby and the mother.
When is viability?
Like when you conceive, it's a life. I believe that life begins at the moment of conception.
Do you think that there is a point that science has defined that human life begins? Do you think that matters in this discussion? What do you think?
I don't think there's a scientific thing. I think that is more a moral dilemma.
So what if I told you that science says that life begins at fertilization? What do you think about that? Have you heard that before as a scientist?
No, that's not my field.
Would that change your perspective if that's what science says, as I just showed?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that it matters when human life begins in determining abortion?
No, I don't think so.
I have had an abortion, so I know how I feel personally about them, but that's a deeply personal issue that I don't think anybody else can decide on, especially a man.
Well, my opinion, honestly, I don't think counts because I can't have a baby.
You're going to be voting on this Amendment 4. It's going to be on everybody's ballot.
I'm not, because I live in Ohio.
Ohio already passed this, right? So did you vote on that? Because you do have an opinion, because you matter 50% of the population. You guys vote.
And I did vote on it.
Do you think there's ever an acceptable point for a woman to have an abortion?
Yeah, rape or incest, I think, is a good viable cause for abortion.
Do you think that the baby's life should be determined by how they were conceived? If they're allowed to live, should that be determined by how they were conceived?
When it comes to rape or incest, yeah, I do.
I feel quite strongly that in cases of incest and rape, that it should be allowable. Should people's lives be unexpectedly altered and people be put into conditions of poverty?
I mean, what life are you really giving the baby if you don't want it? What life are you really giving the baby if you can't provide for it? What life are you giving the baby if its father is a mass rapist?
Horrible quality of life, does that mean they're better off dead? If they have a deadbeat dad, does that mean they're better off dead?
Not necessarily, but it doesn't mean I have to be the one stuck taking care of the baby by myself.
People have limited choices in their lives. Poverty enters into their life. Poverty is a cycle that is so hard to get out of. It's wrapped up in race. It's wrapped up in socioeconomic status.
So then, should children who are brought into that, who are brought into a lower quality of life, should they be killed? That's the question. Is there ever a reason for them to be killed?
No. The answer to that is absolutely not. The child was born, and then you tell somebody this child is my dad's child or my uncle's child. Does that give somebody the right to come and just blow their brains out?
Exactly.
No. So the answer to that is absolutely not. No.
Majority of abortions in general aren't because of rape. 99% of abortions aren't because of rape.
Right. You know your stuff.
How many people are living in regret after abortion and all that stuff?
I had a friend in high school, she had an abortion and she said she was hearing babies. That in itself is a burden.
Right.
To have to think I just killed my babies.
What led you to decide to have an abortion?
I just wasn't ready to have kids. Like it was a surprise and I regret it.
I'm pro like adoption. Like I'm like there's so many people out there who want babies and stuff like that. I think adoption should be easier, 100%.
Do you think that's harmful for legislation to be vague like that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Definitely.
Why is it harmful?
It's just hard to understand. The average person is probably not going to be able to understand that.
There's a lot of gray area. It leaves like room for like each separate court or judge or whoever to like interpret it their way. It's not consistent.
So that's the question. Is there ever a valid reason to have an abortion?
It's not. It's not a valid reason. It's definitely not. I mean, I'm pro-abortion, but it's not. It's for your own selfish reasons, honestly.